Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Um, as you all might already know, I am actually starting a series of videos that looks into the Bitcoin market from a technical perspective. I will be trying to do daily series of analysis to help myself and even yourself understand what is the market movement, what is the market sentiment from a price action technical perspective. So before I start, let me just call out that I am not a financial advisor. So whatever I am going to share within this video is my own personal opinion, and it's only for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please do seek actual professional advice when it comes to investment. With that said, let's dive into the analysis itself. So before I go further in to the analysis for the day, I want to zoom back out to recap on yesterday analysis. So a quick recap was I mentioned that the price is balancing itself back to the mean average after days of price drop. So we are likely to observe price breaking above 52.6K before testing its new support region. So it did not move in the way that I have predicted, but it is definitely creeping towards what I mentioned here. It is just that it is facing rather more resistance than I have thought. So without further ado, let me go into what happened um, after I posted this analysis and what we will be seeing in the coming hours for the day itself. So if I go deeper into the hourly chart, that's where you will start to see what was the market movement yesterday. So I have drawn this red box um, to indicate that there will be stronger seller resistance when the price is creeping into this price level. So as you can see yesterday, the candles and the price did try to go in, but it is facing resistance and it's actually pushing it back down. This is rather stronger than I thought because based on yesterday analysis, I was in the assumption that the price will actually be able to break through and maybe creep to around 56. Was it 56? Let me just double check. I was under the assumption that it will break 52.6K. So it did not. It actually, the resistance is high enough to actually contain the price from going higher. So it did not hit the 52.6K mark, which is around this region, which is around the middle of the box itself. So the price was trying to go in, it failed. So it actually tried to go in three times. You can see the first long wick here, second long wick, and the third one, all trying to break through, but it failed. So once it failed for the third time, the price immediately see a sharp drop, but it was kind of hovering at the green color dotted line. So this green color dotted lines is basically a small short-term support and resistance line that I have drawn based on the initial drop over here and also the recovery candles over here. So I have drawn this line and you can see that the price tried to go down and it was contained within this region. So this gives me an indication that buyer is starting to fight back. They are trying to match the seller's order, but you can see that it fell for quite some candles before it start to pick up pace over here. So this is an important factor, right? Because you can see that even though the price is starting to creep back down, there are buyers confident enough to buy in even at this price level. So the price actually bounced back up into above the green color dotted line. So you will see, you will also notice that I have plotted a lot of small triangles, red and green. So this is to indicate based on the candle movement and the candlestick um, the condition of the candlestick, I am plotting a small sentiment indication for candles that I think is showing a strong trend. So for example, right, if it's a green color triangle, it means that for this particular candle, it seems like buyer is gaining more upper ground than sellers. And if there is a red color triangle here, it means that seller is gaining more um, traction than the buyers itself. So there is always a tug of war between buyer and seller. And what I'm trying to plot is if there are more green color versus red color, from an overall perspective, this might mean that buyer is actually gaining more confidence than sellers. Same thing if red color is more than green color, it means the opposite where seller is gaining more dominance than buyers. So you will also notice that some candles I did not plot the red color or green color triangle, and that is because things, for example, this red color candle, it is definitely showing a drop. But why did I not plot a triangle? The reason is because I see this as an expected drop, because even after three tries, it is kind of expected that it will drop. So for me, this is not an indication of who is dominating here. It's just price movement and swing movement that has to happen to try to neutralize or correct itself back to the mean average. So sometimes I will notice some candles that is showing that buyers is putting in more effort or seller is putting in more effort to gain more upper ground. That is why I plot the green color triangle. So what you will also notice is that I have this buy order over here, this two buy order, and I actually sold it off at this level. So this is actually just a paper trading on TradingView platform. I'm just doing this to kind of illustrate my trading philosophy and strategy to help you see how I look at charts and how I see short-term opportunity as well. So what you will see is that when the price is going up to this level, and it start to have a slight drop, I immediately start to buy in. The reason is because I am pretty confident with my analysis that the price is going to hit the 52.6K. It's just that it is taking longer than I expected. So because of that, I actually put in my first buy position at this um, timing, and then what you notice is the price actually did drop further, but I actually went in further at this point in time. The reason why I did that is because while it is going down, I have this triangle indicating to me that buyer is actually putting in more effort than seller. So you can see that once these two candle came down, this green candle is actually going straight back up, actually even higher than the previous red color. So this actually indicates to me that buyer is doing something here. I am pretty confident that this is starting to shift to a buyer dominance than seller. Having While I have mentioned so much, please take note that this is a short-term view because I'm looking at hourly movement. From a long-term view, it can still be a downtrend, but from a short-term hourly perspective, I do see that buyer is gaining some traction and they are trying to get their upper ground again. So right now, and you can see that once it dropped, I went in the second time, and immediately it's followed by three green color candles. So once it actually breaks above this 3 weeks, I actually sold it away. I do not want to hold it. This is a really short trading strategy, because I feel that the sellers will get more upper ground at this area to try to test whether they can push the price lower again. So I exited this trade and I want to see how the candle is moving in the following hours. and that will help me understand whether will it go up further or will it still come back down to test the green line again. So this was the yesterday movement that have happened. Just to take note that what I'm sharing in terms of timeline, I'm actually in Singapore. I'm based in Singapore. So currently it's already at night at my area. So the time difference will be slightly different from yours. Moving forward, I will try to shift the timing to match the US time so that we have a um, more, I would say, um, we'll be able to communicate better, and you'll be able to see the timeline much more easier. Um, I know that uh, there will be international audience as well, but let's just stick to one time zone so that we can all just look into one. And I will pick USD, taking into consideration that when we look at crypto trading, the one of the highest trading country is actually in US. Okay, so with that mentioned, let's look at what today analysis will bring. So first is I have actually put a new box over here, which is the 1 hour red color box. So why did I put this is because based on the hourly movement, the resistance is most likely in this area. So I have actually cut off this area. You can see that this area is now not red anymore. The reason is because I feel that the price is able to freely move in this area. Um, so I have also plot a yellow flag over here. Why did I do that is because I feel that there is a opportunity um, that the price might reach here. And if it's reaching this level, it's actually in the middle of the 1 hour box, almost in the middle or higher, or maybe slightly higher a bit. So if the price is able to reach here um, soon, it might be possible to enter with a short position. So I feel that there is a opportunity if the price is able to hit this price level within a few hours time. So I'm actually dragging this closer because if the price is hitting this price level after multiple hours and multiple candles, then the price and the sentiment is normalized. But if the price is able to hit this price level, maybe at this hour, maybe at maybe within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, within 6 hours, then I would think that it is a shaky ground and sellers will have more upper hand to push the price down a little bit. So that is why I want to actually plot this yellow flag closer to the timeline. Secondly, let me also shorten this box. I think this box should be slightly smaller because ultimately I'm just looking at an hourly chart. If we look at daily perspective, the price will might not move in the way that I have predicted just solely looking at the hourly movement. So this is where I feel that there will be some resistance. So now it's already starting to test the upper limit. So this candle is breaking through the initial small resistance over here, and it's also breaking through this stronger resistance. So now that it has breakthrough, you can see that this red color candle is able to hover within this area, right? So take note of this. This does not really indicate to me that it can go higher or lower. The reason is because the candle has been moving up consecutively for 3 hours. So there should be some correction to happen. But because of the velocity of this price movement, it from how I see it, I would have think that the price would shot up further. But it has been seller is able to contain within this region, and in this new candle, is actually pushing the price slightly lower. So because of this, I will actually hold my horses. I do not want to go in at this level yet. I feel that it might actually trend lower a bit before it goes up. That's one scenario. The other scenario is it will go up after a while and hit this region. So this is actually, I would say, a pretty safe, or I would say a more low low risk position for me to go in. Once the price hit here, I will actually open an order to short sell it, maybe down the price to this level. So there are a lot of lines crisscross, but each lines have its own meaning to it. So, and these are plotted taking into consideration multiple price movement. So this blue line that you are looking at, this two blue line, is actually the 4 hourly swing trend. So you can see this swing over here. So I plotted this because initially the price went above and it dropped down. So it actually cut through and cut back down. So this is some sort of correction, and is the price is starting to creep back into this pipeline. So I want to be aware of this pipeline so that we know when the price go over, will it have some interaction with this pipeline. If you look closely, you can see that the price is actually trying to go into the pipeline, but it did not manage to go in because of the resistance that I have drawn over here, and it dropped a bit, dropped further. Now it's creeping back up to this pipeline. So once it's able to go in, it might actually hover for some time before it go up or go down. So I'm not sure, but we should definitely keep close eye on where is the price moving towards. Now you can also see that the price is trying to test the bottom region again. So I am actually thinking of going in now. Let me just let me just analyze this quietly for a while. So I'm looking at the 4 hours chart because there is a small hint of dotted red color line that I have drawn previously. This is just a critical price level that I've plotted after looking at the price movement. So I want to be sure of what is happening. So if you look at the 4 hours chart, you can see that it is much more positive in the sense that the price went down, it hovers, it did not actually go down further. There is actually a sort of um, support happening here that is keeping the price from going lower, and then it went up above these three candles, but it shot back right down afterwards. So from a 4 hourly trend, it seems like it can actually go down to maybe this area before testing it again. So I am not yet confident to go in at this juncture, but I want to see where does this green line sits from a 4 hourly perspective. Okay, so from a 4 hourly perspective, it is very possible that the price after testing the above dropping back down will go to this region before buyers start to maintain its price level again. But this is too early to tell. Um, We have to see in the coming candles, maybe 1 to 2 hours, to see where does the candle lies, to understand whether the trend of the dominance of buyers still remain. So it is too early to tell whether it can go up and hit this flat over here. But I think that if it hits this flat by this timeline, within this timeline, then it's definitely a good opportunity to short. So take note that what I'm sharing with you is just my opinion. Please take it with a grain of salt. Please do your own research and do not follow blindly on my advice. Okay, so the next one to let's just have a mental note of this, because based on the movement here, it will dictate whether is it a buy sentiment or a sell sentiment. So you will also see that I have plotted this yellow color line, um, this yellow one, and this yellow. So this is actually looking at the upper swing trend of the sell region. So this is where it was at the peak all-time high, and then it start tumbling down. So I've tried to pick the upper swing candle to plot this line. So you can see that it actually hit this area, and then it start to hover and start to go above this yellow line. So the other one, this line, is actually looking at the lowest point versus the second lowest swing when it start to pick up pace again. And you can see that while it pick up pace, there is a slight drop within this area, which is why I went in. Um, so you can see a strong bounce back when it crossed the green color dotted line and the yellow swing line. So this is actually a good opportunity to have went in for a short win. Um, yeah, okay. Let me go to the 4 hourly chart. Let's see what is the overall market sentiment for the day. So from a 4 hourly chart perspective, it's almost similar to the hourly perspective. It's just reinforcing that now the seller is trying to push back the price, and if they do not succeed, then the price is likely to go up higher to this red color box region. I think there is, let me plot. um, so from a green color line, green color box perspective, um, yeah, this, I think this can continue to maintain. If the price actually go down, buyer will be positioning themselves at this area to buy back in. So we will likely see stronger support sentiment when the price is at this level. So this green box can remain at this area. For the daily trend, this box, I will actually lower this box slightly. If the price is able to go down to this level, it will most likely cut through this pipeline, this daily swing trend pipeline, and it will be contained within this area before buyers try to push back into this pipeline. So I'm lowering this, I'm minimizing this green box, because I feel that the price is likely to go further down within this region. So this is from a daily perspective. Do take note that this is where I feel that when when the candle and the price is within this area, there will be stronger support sentiment. Having said that, it can definitely still slice through this box like a butter. It can actually go down further, but this is just an indication based on what I see that maybe there will be stronger support region. So this is also an area that if you are thinking of accumulating more Bitcoin in the long term, you can consider when the price is at this level, which is from the lowest end is actually 37.3k to around 41k. So going back to the 4 hours chart, the price is trying to contain itself above this level. So if I'm going to plot a new one, new green color line, so this green color dotted line is actually a very short term resistance support and resistance line. So from a higher time frame perspective, the price can definitely cut through this easily. But why I'm plotting this is to get a sense and perspective of how is the price reacting when the price is at this level. So now we will be able to see if the price is cutting through, how how deep can it go before it try to go back up. So depending on the depth of the price, depending on how low the price go um, within this area, it will actually indicates to you the sentiment of the buyer when the price is at this region. So for example, when I look at this, if the price is only going to hover at above at this range, then and the price bounce back up, then it actually indicates to me that buyer is actually keeping track of this. They are trying to find a lower price level to go in, but they are not allowing it to go further down. So this will be a good indication that the price will go higher to this region, but we have yet to see that. It's too early to tell. We need more candles to confirm this trend. So I am going to end this analysis soon, but you should take note of this in the coming hours. So to wrap things up, let me go back to the daily time frame. So what is the market sentiment for the day? Let me summarize it over here. It's almost 11 p.m. at my area, but moving forward, I will switch this to match the US timing. So from a US timing perspective, if I'm going to look at the time converter, it will be roughly, let me just change this to the US timing. It's almost 10 a.m. at your area. If you are in Washington, GMT -5. Okay, so for the market sentiment for the day of 25th Feb, based on what I see, uh, please take note that this is only my personal opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. If it helps you, that would be great. If it does not, and you think that not, it does not make sense, you can by all means don't follow it. So the market sentiment for 25th Feb is that price buyers from a short-term perspective, buyers are starting to gain more confidence to drive price back to the 4 hourly swing trend pipeline. So what is 4 hourly swing trend pipeline? It's actually referring to this blue color line. So if I go down to the 4 hourly one, you can see this pipeline, and the price is trying to creep back into this area. So this small area. From an hourly perspective, it will be much more clearer. So the price is right now hovering at this area. It actually uh, went in a little while and dropped again. So right now, buyer is trying to maintain the price and push back into this pipeline. And from what I see, if the price is going in, it is likely to go higher to this region where seller will come into the picture again, um, as they start to gain more confidence to correct the price back down. So going back to the summary, market sentiment summary, let me just type it out over here. From a short-term perspective, buyers are starting to gain more confidence to drive price back to the 4 hourly swing trend pipeline. Sellers are currently testing the recent short-term breakout. Sellers are currently testing the recent short-term breakout, and buyers are trying to maintain at its new breakout level. And the breakout level is roughly at this range, which is 52.1k. 52.1k. 52.1k USD. From a longer term perspective, let me switch this to, let me just call out that this is looking at the 1 hour chart. This is looking at daily. So from a longer term perspective, looking at the daily trend, buyers are still not fully confident to invest fully invest more in Bitcoin. They are waiting for more shorter time frame confirmation before going in. There will likely be a true test between buyer versus seller sentiment at the red color box. So the red color box that I am referring to is this one. So if the price is going up, buyer, once it is in this region, seller will be doing its final push back down. And if buyer is able to maintain this swing drop, then likely we will start to gain more confidence of the long-term movement of Bitcoin. So right now, I think it is still there is a fair game between buyer and seller. So from a long-term perspective, I would say that we can still wait for a few days before investing more into it. So please take note that this is just my opinion. Do your own research. I am not a professional financial advisor, so whatever I share is just my opinion and it's for entertainment and education purposes. Thank you. I hope you like my analysis. I will continue to do this kind of analysis uh, as much as possible from a daily perspective so that I get a sense of where Bitcoin is moving for my own mental note, and also hopefully it's helpful for you guys out there. If you like it, please subscribe, leave a comment, and give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or feedbacks, feel free to drop it in the comment section. Thank you.